Why are people gotta freeze their eggs? When you're in your 20s, you fertile myrtle. So why would you
time?
Stop answering because I'm asking Kellee.
I'm telling you. I couldn't.
You may be fertile, but you may not have met the right person yet. You may want to travel the world with the girls. You may want to start a career.
You ain't got no money.
You ain't got no money to have a baby. You know, my mom told the doctor that if they were doing this procedure back in her day, that my ass would still be frozen. That's what she honestly said. And I'm insulted to this day because I'm here. That's what she said. She's met me. And she's like, her ass would still be frozen. But I think it's about options, but also, like, on a more serious note, if someone is diagnosed with cancer, for instance, and they're about to go through radiation, the only way that they may have the possibility of having a child, should they survive that cancer, is by preserving their fertility. Let's also talk about Huntington's disease or any other disease that's genetically linked to your family. I have a friend that is married, is not infertile, but Huntington's disease runs in her husband's family. So they chose elective IVF, not because they needed it, but they elected to do it because they wanted to eradicate that disease from their lineage, because the scientists and the embryologists can actually see what the gender is going to be and whether or not you're carrying a certain gene. So IVF and treatments like that are under attack by our government and this Roe v. Wade overturned and stuff like that aren't just about, I want to have a baby one day. Sometimes it's about, I have to have cancer treatment, and this is the only way to preserve my fertility, or this is a way that I can ensure that my child doesn't have a life-threatening disease later on. So there's many reasons to do this. But to further answer Kym's question, there are blood tests, your AMH, your anti-Müllerian hormone, and your FSH, your follicle stimulating hormone, that give women an idea, or people that identify as female that have ovaries, of what their ovarian reserve looks like, meaning how many eggs they have left. Women are born with as many eggs as they'll ever have. We do not make more. When they're gone, they gone. They've left the ovaries in the building.
That's so interesting, because that's not something that when we go to the gynecologist and they test us, they go, this is what your ovarian reserve is. I never knew that. Is that a test?
Exactly.
I went to a test, especially, I did it, and I had a lot of eggs. When I went 6 months later, he was like, oh, it's over. I was like, what? It went that fast. I was of a certain age, I don't remember, but I was engaged, and he wanted a child. And I thought that would be a great idea, and I tested it, and I was like, dragging my feet, and he tested the eggs, and I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, 6 months later, let's go back. And he said, oh, no, all them eggs left. I was like, where'd they go? But it was a wrap.
So it's a wrap when it's a wrap. Mm-hmm.
How do you get this test?
It's a blood test. You can ask your gynecologist for it. It's not something that's offered in our annual pap smears, which is one of the things that I've tried to change. And I will one day, but it's something that, again, like I said, because we're not taught reproductive health, we don't even know to ask this. We don't even know it exists. But there's this wonderful tool called Google that nobody be using. Mm. And it's one of the things that you have to be proactive about your future, about your fertility health.
Two funny mamas.